I believe that he could probably put Donald Trump in jail.
So, Ryan, we've seen the collapse of Elon Musk and Donald Trump's relationship in the last 24 hours. What do you think was the straw that broke the camel's back for Elon Musk?
I think that when you have two narcissist sociopaths and they both have enormous egos, and they're both in positions of power, I think you're always going to have a power struggle. And I think that's what it was. I believe, I hate to say this, but I actually believe Donald Trump is probably right that it is the fact that they removed any credits for electric vehicles in the big bill. I refuse to call it the big beautiful bill. It's terrible. So anyway, I mean, I think that you have two guys and they're all about themselves. And I think that that's probably what led to it on Elon's part. I mean, yesterday I was asked by tons of people, is this staged? It's just a distraction. Yes, this is a distraction. No, this is not staged. It got way too personal, way too fast yesterday for this to be staged. So yeah, I mean, right now, the thing I'm most worried about right now is the popcorn shortage, that the world is going to run out of popcorn while we're trying to watch this implosion.
Yeah. I mean, Elon Musk spent hundreds of millions of dollars on Trump's campaign. Tesla's stock has gone down. Trump's now threatening to end his government contract. Steve Bannon said he wants him deported. And his reputation is always now going to be linked to the Trump administration.
Yep.
Do you think that he will ever be able to recover from this?
Elon? Yes. I mean, he's the richest man in the world. You know, I mean, that's the thing. He had a tweet yesterday that was pretty on the nose. You know, Trump will be president for another 3.5 years. And Elon's got 40 plus more years left on this earth. I mean, he's going to be fine. Unfortunately, that's the problem with evil, very rich villains. Like, we've seen it in movies our entire lives, right? Like, there's no real consequence or accountability when you hold all the cards. So yeah, he'll be fine. My money's on Elon with this one.
So what kind of pain could Elon Musk inflict on Trump?
Well, let's not forget, Trump went all the way to the Supreme Court, begging them to let a guy who was not a constitutional officer, has not taken any oath of office to this country, and is a citizen of another country, giving him access to everything, right? All of our data, all of our information. He was in everywhere. And you've got to believe that Elon's not an idiot in the fact that he's probably laid traps in those places, you know, and who knows what he can do with that. You know, he knows more about Donald Trump than any of us will. I mean, he's clearly, you know, got some stuff on him, and I'd be willing to bet has the evidence to back it up. So, I mean, he could do a lot of damage. I mean, that's the problem with having, you know, these tech bros. These tech bros understand technology better than we do. They understand where things are kept. They understand where the bodies are buried, where people are keeping secrets, where they're using aliases, all of that. And so, I mean, I would imagine that Elon could make Trump's life very, very difficult. I believe that he could probably put Donald Trump in jail if we actually had a judicial system that could, you know, do that. But I think he's got some good stuff on Trump. And I think it's going to be very interesting to watch this whole thing unfold, especially during summer on an off year. I mean, there's not a whole lot going on in the summer, right? Everyone's kind of taking a break, trying to breathe through this administration. You don't screw up on a slow news day. And yesterday was a slow news day. The summer is a slow news day. So it's going to be something for the entire world to watch.
Well, but we do have in the autumn the upcoming municipal elections.
Yes.
And then in 2026, we have the midterms, which everyone's already talking about.
Yes.
And, you know, Elon had spent hundreds of millions of dollars on the general election campaign to get Trump elected. But he was planning to spend not that much money, but still, you know, maybe $100 billion on the upcoming midterms. Do you think that that's money that the Trump administration was really banking on, or that the GOP was banking on?
Yeah, absolutely. I do. Absolutely. Listen, the GOP, they're falling apart internally. They're eating their own. And I mean, they haven't kept the promises that they made to the American people. There are a lot of people who feel hoodwinked. There are a lot of leopards-eating faces in this country right now. They needed that money. Trump needed the money in order to be elected. Elon was right. Trump would not have won if Elon had not been part of that. All of Trump's money was tied up in legal battles ahead of the election. So the money that Elon invested in that campaign actually was what was the money for the campaign. Like that was the seed money. So I mean, I think that if I'm a member of Congress right now, I don't know what I'm going to do, right? I'm torn between Donald Trump, who my base loves, and Elon Musk, who has more money than God, who my base also loves. And this is the problem with not having a spine, right? This is the problem with not having a moral compass and not standing up on your character and standing up for the things that you believe in. Because now you're going to be forced to pick sides. And there isn't a good side to pick. And either side, you're going to get screwed. So what do you do? And I think that that's going to be really interesting. This next year, I think that, I mean, from a Lincoln Project perspective, our belief is that we can take back the House next year. We believe that Trump has done enough damage to his brand, to the country's brand, to veterans, to his base, that we can get the House back, and that Johnson has been playing too much of a role promoting Trump and not enough of a role promoting the American people. So, I mean, I think that this is great because all this does is kill some of the funding for the GOP. The Dems are going to clearly need some investment, and they need to get their act together too. But this is all very good for the midterms. This is very good for the Virginia races coming up in the fall. This is very good. This is all very, very good. This was not on my bingo card this year, but it is a positive step for democracy when you have two sociopaths that were fascist Nazis fighting each other.
You guys at the Lincoln Project, you're very clued into what Republicans are saying behind closed doors. You've alluded to a bit of it, but what are they really thinking about all of this?
Well, I mean, the MAGA cult's the MAGA cult, right? There's nothing that you're ever going to do that's going to change the minds of the cult. There's nothing that those people, you're not going to move cult members away from a cult. But the majority of America isn't in the cult. And that's so important, especially for your audience to hear, right? Like, the majority isn't in the cult. The majority is somewhere in the middle. And they're so focused on running their own lives, right? And taking care of their kids and making sure that they can afford groceries and the mortgage and their jobs. They're not as plugged into all of this as the cult is or as the progressive left is. And I mean, they're pretty angry. Prices haven't gone down on anything. They're tired of the drama. They're tired of, they want a country that we can be proud of again. They don't want to be embarrassed on a national level. They don't like that we're bowing down to Putin. They don't like that we're abandoning our allies. And so all of that combined with the fact that prices are going up and not down, and it is impacting people's pocketbooks. I think that people, the Republicans are pretty upset right now. I mean, I don't think anybody in this country is super happy right now, except for maybe the cult. So, I mean, I think that, the centrists and those Republicans who are more on the establishment side and less on the MAGA side are just ready to get back to business as usual. Like, let's make politics boring again. Let's start debating over a percentage of a tax increase and not, who we are as humans and what we want to do to other human beings. I mean, it's appalling. And I'm embarrassed as an American.